What's up, fight fans and YouTube family? And we are back at it with another edition of Round One Sports TV. I am your host, Edwin, and we're gonna be getting into what's going on behind the scenes with the Fundora victory and who's more likely to fight him and what's been going on with the WBC and the way they ordered this fight with Terence Crawford. So we're gonna be getting into that, all that, and more. Please give the video a like if you haven't already. Subscribe to the channel, and let's get right into this video, guys. Well, uh, there is a lot of shit going on right now in boxing right now, man. Well, before we get into this Fendora and what's going on with them real quick, I want to touch up on one thing. What's up, Armando? Thank you for joining the channel. I want to touch on something right now. We were about to get a clash of the heavyweight champions to unify all four belts between Tyson Fury and Oliver Usyk, right? And now it's being reported that Tyson Fury pulled out the fight due to a calf injury he sustained in sparring. So now what I guess the Saudis are getting their way now, and they're all up on Anthony Joshua's shit because Anthony Joshua's been out there twice already. Anthony Joshua stepping in on short notice to take on Usyk again for the third time. So now I guess that's what we're gonna be getting. You know, ah man, I don't know about Tyson Fury right now. I don't know. I mean, is he going through one of his episodes again where he's starting to like show this side of Tyson Fury that, he's not his heart is not into boxing. A calf injury? You pulled out? What? You can't make this shit up, bro. I'm not, man, listen. That was going to be the first unification for heavyweight division in like 20 years, bro. We haven't seen that. And I was anxious to see that to get a definitive king in the heavyweight division. Like I said, there has not been a heavyweight champion that's had all the major sanctioning. Like the Klitschko's had like two or three of the belts, and then they had like the small ones, like the IBO, and it made it look good with all the belts. And Anthony Joshua, I think, had five belts at one time. They just weren't the right five belts. That's all. You know what I mean? Yeah, brother. Yeah, that Tyson Fury, I'm reporting it here. You heard it here first. He's pulled out the fight, man. Yeah. So and his opponent, and there's other guys in the heavyweight division that deserve a shot before Anthony Joshua, but the politics and the names, they're going to give it to him first. You see how this goes? Anthony Joshua already lost to him twice. We're about to get the third fight again. It's going to look the same. I don't know. Look, I mean, Anthony Joshua looked good and he knocked out. But that's not Usyk is not Francis Ngannou's, you know. What's up? All right, how you doing in the building? You know, on the way straight. Listen, um, uh, I just man, I just wanted to really see a definitive king in the heavyweight division. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like we're gonna get that. And that's a shame. That's a shame. Uh, so Anthony Joshua gets his wish, the Saudis get their way, and he's stepping in on short notice. The date is still the date. They loved him some Anthony Joshua, bro. Nah, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know, guys. Okay. So, um, what happened after the fight with Tim Tszyu and Sebastian Fundora? Okay, I thought that the WBO could not force this fight on Sebastian Fundora if he shall not had wanted it, right? And that they wouldn't have put him to vacate it. What it seems like they did, basically, is the WBO just ordered Sebastian Fundora. He has until March 29th to start negotiation with the one and only Terence Bud Crawford. Yeah. So he has to defend the WBO and the WBC against Terence Crawford. And he has until March 29th to start negotiation. Tim Zoo had 5 days after the fight. They just gave Fundora. And technically, legally, if Fundora gets himself a lawyer or whatever, I think he could fight that. I think the WBO is being a little slick here and trying to see if but let's be honest, right? What's what's right? In the eyes of all the players here, we know that Errol Spence Jr. hopped in the ring and he wanted a fight. He asked for a fight, right? Okay. We know that after the press conferences, neither Tim Zoo nor Sebastian Fundora confirmed who they was going to fight. They said, yeah, I would like to fight them. I would like to. Or it would be a good fight. He didn't come out and say, no, I'm going to fight him. I want to fight him. You know what I mean? No. So what did all the players, let's look at all their scenarios, okay? Number one, Terence Crawford deserves the fight above all because he beat Errol Spence Jr. And not only did he beat him bad. So if we were looking at that, is boxing when you win, do they award you? Or should you be looked over in the biggest fight, in the biggest momentum of your career? Should you be awarded these fights because obviously you beat everybody to be there? Why should the guy that you beat get the fight you want? And it's the very next fight. It's not like it was 3 or 4 fights down the line. No, we're talking about the very next fight from both fighters, Errol Spence Jr. and Terence Crawford. So, through the lenses of Terence Crawford, he's right. He should be getting the fight. And he filled in the paperwork for the WBC. They had promised him the fight. Okay. No one told, first of all, Tim Zoo to take this fight with one-time Keith Thurman. That's how we got here. Remember, leading into the fight, the belt wasn't on the line. The belt became on the line 12 days coming into the fight. And then that's when the WBO stuck their nose back into the affairs, which deemed them, they were already pissed that Tim Zoo was fighting Keith Thurman, and not defending for their belt. Once Keith Thurman pulled out, the WBO jumps in and the WBC. You see? So the shit got serious real quick in 12 days, right? Okay. So the WBO, for as much that Tim Zoo walked with the WBO over fighting Jermall Charlo and all the times he put in to be his mandatory and took step aside money, the WBO had it up to here with Tim Zoo in his corner and his manager and all that other shit. But you got to remember what was going on behind the scene with them. Them dealing with Tim Zoo. So much of him, I want to fight, I want my fight, right? That they had to strip Jermall Charlo because they were pissed at Jermall Charlo now for going up to fight Saul Canelo Alvarez. This was a whole debacle with the organization. So now the organization sees the opportunity of captivating one of the greatest champions we have right now. The one, the only, Terence Bud Crawford. If they can put their belt around that waist, perfect. Good move. Get your fighter to get that fight. He is still the WBO champion at 147, right? Okay, he has that power. Okay, and this is going to be historical. I know that the Japanese fighter, he's the one that has 4 WBO titles in 4 separate weight divisions. This could be Terence Crawford's third. Okay, so we'll see. But from Errol Spence Jr.'s perspective, he wants to get another fight. He wants to get his name back into the ring. One of the ways he can do this is go after 2 belts. But let's just back up for a second and let me open your eyes to what's really going on. See, here at Round One Sports Talk, we see things a little bit different. Let, let me share with you. Okay, Errol Spence Jr. looked good jumping in that ring. His face looked good, his appearance, everything. He looked ready. He looked like he hasn't like glimped up or nothing, like he's actually training, right? Did it or did it not, right? Okay. But wait a minute. Didn't he just pull out of the rematch with Terence Crawford, citing another surgery? He went and told Terence Crawford, brother, I don't want to hold you up anymore, but I'm not going to be ready to fight you. You're not going to be ready to fight him where? At 154. Well, okay. How are you not ready to fight Terence Crawford in the rematch at 154, but you hopped in the ring and challenged Sebastian Fundora to fight you at 154? Bro, come on, man. Come on, man. Make it make sense. You are ready now. You're hopping in the ring telling them, bro, I'll fight. 3 weeks ago, you told Errol Spence Jr. to move on because you wasn't going to be ready at 154. You kind of told on yourself right there. Most people would have saw that and it would have went right over their head. They would have been encouraging the fight with Errol Spence Jr. and would have said it would have been a good fight, but not recognize the fight. But wait a minute. It wasn't like 6 months past. It wasn't like 8 months past or something. Bro, this was legitimately 3 weeks ago that you was on social media with the cataract and it. You told Terence, I'm not, brother, I don't want to hold you up. Go ahead. I can't make the deadline. Hops in the ring 3 weeks later and says, Sebastian, I want to fight you. Really? Really? I was like, shit. So Sebastian, in his perspective, right? Honestly, I would take Errol Spence Jr. in his part. If we were looking at it through his lenses, right? I would take Errol Spence Jr. The reason why I would take Errol Spence Jr., he's coming off of a loss and one of the biggest ass whoopings of his life. He's also got to come back mentally strong, you see? And he's the loser out of them two. But as a respect from champions looking in, they're looking at Fundora and they're going to be like, bro, you fought the loser out of the fight. You didn't fight the winner. You went and fought the loser out of that fight. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, what's up, Justin? How you doing? Love you. I just, as Fundora's side, look, the fans are like, they'll call him out on it. And they'll be like, yo, bro, how you fought the loser? And you see, Errol Spence Jr. is loved in the sport of boxing. And Errol Spence Jr. gets what Errol Spence Jr. wants. I want you to remember that. Errol Spence Jr. can still slide in, and Fundora still has the option just to vacate the WBO. He will still remain the WBC champion. And let me tell you something right now. Looking at it from skill wise in boxer, look, I know each man will fight any man. And if you're a professional boxer, damn it, you're not scared of no one. Okay? But you also have to think about, you know, what it is, man. Terence Crawford is an elite fighter, man. He's not pound for pound number one. Did not climb two separate weight divisions, unify all four belts, and clean out all the weight divisions like he did because he's not. And he's currently undefeated. Terence Crawford is that dude. When he walks into the room, when I see Terence Crawford, I go, Mama, there goes that man. You're damn right. They don't want no smoke. If it got Bud in it, they don't want none. These dudes is lying to you, bro. They lying to you. Jermall Charlo got stripped of all his belts on a coincidence when he knew that the storm was coming up to 154. I'm not saying he did it because of that. And I want to report, just in case you didn't know this, earlier today, unfortunately, Jermall Charlo suffered a seizure. He was hospitalized. My condolences go out to him and his family. I hope that he's doing well. I saw that his uncle said on social media that he's fine and that he's up and that he was talking. You know, he did have a seizure. And that goes to show that those are those punches, bro. Yeah, man. He's a young man, still healthy. You know, he never had seizures before in his life. From what we know of, I know, I've never heard of him having seizures. He had a seizure this morning. And you know, he's got a lot. If he's starting to have seizures like this, you know, he has to be looked at doctors. I'm not certain where his career lies. I'm not certain if that maybe he ate something, had an allergic reaction to it. Maybe it was something like that. But if it's something serious, I'll stay on to that so that I keep my ear to the ground so that I can hear more on it and I'll report more back to you about it. But yes, in fact, he did suffer a seizure as being reported. In fact, this morning. So, ah, look, there's a lot of money on the table when it comes to these kind of fights. And if Sebastian Fundora wants to make that kind of money, he will make that kind of money with Terence Crawford. He also stands to make a little bit of money with Errol Spence Jr., but I'm not sure it would be the level about amount of money with Terence Crawford. Plus, he has leverage. Even though Terence Crawford would obviously be the A side in this fight, he's the champion. And if he's gonna give up the A side type shit like that, you know, that's a good negotiation tool to have. Terence Crawford, you would be coming in this fight beltless. You don't have any belts at 154. He doesn't have one. He has two to bring to the table. And if you want some of that action right there and you want these belts, well, you're going to have to pay Fundora. Congratulations to Sebastian Fundora and his sister for simultaneously being the first brother and sister duo to hold world titles present date. His sister is currently the female world champion right now. And Sebastian just became a two unified world champion at 154. That's a beautiful thing. Their father must be really proud of his son and daughter's accomplishments. You know, that's amazing. That is truly amazing. So the money wise, the money stand for me anyway. Terence Crawford is on a rise. He just put together one of the most pugilistic ass whoopings, one-sided events. We no one saw that coming. There is no one on God's green earth that saw that kind of beating. That you know, we know Terence Crawford's fans said always said Terence Crawford was going to win, and I'm sure they thought that he was going to win. Not like that. Not like that. They thought it was gonna be a more competitive, hard fought fight, but that at later Terence Crawford would pull away in the fight. And he would really show his superior, not just a one-sided beatdown from the moment the bell went bing. That was not supposed to happen with a three-time undisputed world no, man. You know what I mean? No. Unified world champion, not undisputed. Unified world champion. Errol Spence Jr. was a three-time Oh my God. That was not supposed to happen. So What's up, Ricky? Estrada, God bless from Puerto Rico. What's up, my brother? I will be seeing you guys out there. I will be out in Puerto Rico June 9th. So let me know. You know what I mean? It was a smart move. It's always a smart move. Listen, guys, Errol Spence Jr. doesn't have to sit on the shelf and wait around for Terence Crawford. He'll fuck his feelings, bro. He has a family to feed. Errol Spence Jr. He needs to get his next fight. And he needs, if they're not going to promote you, you need to promote yourself. What he did in that move was a very smart move. It also, even if he didn't get this fight and Terence Crawford still gets the fight, he still promoted himself and let the world know that Errol Spence Jr. is back and that he will be looking for a fight. He can be enticed to fight for the other belts. So look, because Jermall Charlo doesn't have any of the belts. Okay? Now, as we talk about all these fighters, Jermall Charlo can come from left field, right? And he can want a shot back at what's rightfully his. All those belts are his. No one beat him. Those are his belts. And until you beat the champion, I'm sorry. Unless I get definitive confirmation he might not come back to the sport of boxing, well, then it is what it is, you know? But technically, he's got that right. He has those connections with those belts, and they'll put him right at the number one spot. He'll walk in right through the door and be all their number one contenders. Yeah, so he can come like that. Then, on top of all this fiasco, I know I'm not the only one that feels this way. Tim Tszyu should get a rematch. Tim Tszyu deserves a rematch. And we got Tim Tszyu. He just lost the belts. I know he wasn't the owner of the WBC, so, in which that WBC belongs to Jermall Charlo. Now, Jermall Charlo had to be at home watching all this go down. I'm pretty sure he watched the fight. Okay? Um, ah, that must be heartbreaking. Watching these guys wear your belts, fighting over your belts, which I believe he was unjustifiably stripped, man. I could see the WBO, but not all of them, bro. That was maybe they knew something behind the scenes that we didn't know, and they had their reasons. I don't know. I don't know. I've heard so much about it, but I'm not gonna say any of these dumbass stories that someone repeat, copy, print, repeat just because they're saying it. Nah, I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. I'll just stay with facts, bro. That's all. What up, Carlos? Ah, yeah. Carlos says he better be careful with his. He messed him up pretty good. He gave him a good ass whooping. That was uh uh if I ever saw a good ass whooping in a boxing match, that was a good ass whooping. If I ever saw a good cut in a boxing match, that cut that Tim Tszyu had, and I talked this over with my friend that he was on one of my live streams on Friday. He's been doing a lot of promotional work, and we haven't been able to catch up. But he's gonna come back to the show, and we'll chop it up and stuff, and maybe do another live, right? So, um he promotes his fighters, right? And when he's in the corner with his fighter and he has his chief second and they're in the corner, right? They have a cut man. And the cut man brings a box with him. And in that box is everything he needs to work the corner for a cut. That box is sealed like this. If the guy suffers a cut in the ring and he has to break that seal to open that box, that's $200. Okay. And then the guy, everything in that box, he'll work the cut. He has the crazy glue, the Aspinall. He'll put it in the and seal the hole. Some guys will staple that fucking cut right there on his head, right then and there, right? They'll get that cut sealed depending on the cut, right? The Aspinall, right? So look, once you know what I'm saying. So you have a cut man on standby. The fact that Tim Zoo's corner didn't have a $200 guy with a box and a world title fight for two belts, that if he would have broke the seal, $200, he would have stopped the bleeding in Tim Zoo's forehead. Their inability to stop that cut, I believe, cost them that fight. There was nothing wrong with Tim Zoo's part. He showed up. He was well trained, okay. He was conditioned right, and he was fighting right. His fighting was hindered by the blood that was pouring into his eye, which impaired his vision due to the fact that his corner could not stop that bleeding. His corner went in there very unprofessional and unprepared. Although they might be the kind of corner and coaches that can coach a fighter, you should have had a $200 box sitting right there just in case your fighter gets cut. That even that would have not stopped me. I would have found that $200 guy. I'm pretty sure in that entire arena with all those fights that were scheduled, there was a cut man somewhere sitting there that you could have bought and paid for right then and there. Bro, I would have gave him cash out of my pocket to save my fighter. His corner needed to have some hustle. They just stood there like shocked on TV and kept putting the and and then in some rounds they kept putting pressure so much and so much thing that they forgot to put Vaseline on his face and on his nose and all right here so that the punches bounce off too. You got to take care of your fighter. While you got your hand on his head, he was supposed to take the Vaseline like this and go like this and you get take care of your fighter's face. You wipe it, wipe it, wipe it, hit it again, take it off, hit it with the Aspen, put the nice big glob up on the top. When he comes back to the corner, see how much it puts some more pressure, 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 a little bit more Aspen on, seal that bad boy up in the face. Make sure clean, clean, boom. They failed them, bro. They failed them. And yeah, man. And so I believe, look, there's no rematch clause. There's no rematch clause. That would be up to Fundora. There's a little bit too much money in the table to fight the above fighters, the Terence Crawfords, the Errol Spence Juniors. There's too much money that way. He could stand to make a pretty penny fighting Tim Zoo, I believe. And I don't know if you want to go to Tim Zoo's hometown. He might stand to make more money with Terence Crawford, but you might not wake up the next day the champion. That's the problem. Terence Crawford is an elite fighter. Sebastian Fundora, for the first time in his career anyway, fought long and he tried to keep Tim Zoo at the end of his punches. But that was the first time he's ever fought a fight like that in his entire career. Sebastian Fundora, if you don't know too much about him, he's an inside fighter. And you would think with a man that tall, with that much of a length, he had 9.5 inches in height on Tim Zoo, and he had 9 inches in reach advantage. 9 inch reach advantage? 9 inches? That's ridiculous. The most you hear in fighters are like a 4 inch, 3 inch, and you're like, man, 3 inch reach advantage? That's a lot, man. Damn, he got my guy by 3 inches. Well, what about 9 inches? Like, damn, bro. That's ridiculous, right? So for him, for him to have that kind of advantage and give it up, the fact that he fought tall and he fought smart, A friend of mine said, no, Sebastian Fundora got his nose broken too in the second round, and that's why he stood on the outside. And I said, no, I think that was his game plan. He stood disciplined. Even when Tim Tszyu was constantly trying forward pressure, he would go backwards. And I always told you in a fight, if you go like this, you throw a punch and you go like this and you stand up straight, don't go straight back, man. Please don't go straight back. You're going to get knocked out. You don't go, you step back and slide and watch him. You see, and if he's cut, you make the decision whether to grab him or go in or to fight your way in. The choice is yours. There's different situations always in boxing. It depends on what situation you're in. You see, but never go back like that. But Sebastian Fundora is the kind of fighter. He's so tall that he can get away with that. And if you can get away with shit like that, man, use it. So for me anyway, he would need one or two more fights of learning how to fight tall. He's not going to convince me in one fight, even though he had a hell of a performance. I'm not going to take anything from him, but he had a little help with the blood in Tim Tszyu's eye. He had a little help, you see? So I would like him to be a little bit more fluid in fighting long rather than just going and then putting him against Terence Crawford. They're trying to set up Terence Crawford to be a multiple division world champion and perhaps unify all four belts in a third weight division. And I see where his people are coming from and what they want to push. Remember, Terence Crawford's an American fighter. If he could be the first American fighter to get all four belts in three separate weight divisions, come on, bro. You know, because they know Japan's gonna try it. They know Japan's coming for that record, bro. Japan is not satisfied with sharing the room with Terence Crawford, and neither is Terence Crawford sharing the room with Japan. No, America sees a move here. They see the move, and they're going to go for it. Sebastian Fundora would need a lot of work to get all four belts in separate weight divisions to put him. You see? So they're going to put their guy in right there because they see the storm that's coming, and Japan ain't playing. And they look like they're going to make a real attempt at that 126 to unify all four belts there. So Japan's going to make a move, and I see it right after this fight he has with Luis Pantera Nares. I want to see what he says out of his mouth. I can't wait. Can't wait. But that's why they're going to feed him to Terence Crawford. Because there's different moves, and people are looking long term. Terence Crawford's not a young puppy. He doesn't have all the luxury in the world to sit around like that. One fight, two belts? Shit, you're only two away, baby. If one of those guys get two belts, he's one fight away from doing that. Can you say checkmate? Yo, they're looking on a different vision. These guys are bickering over one fight. Terence Crawford's looking at legacy. Yo, shit. Listen, in the first round, Tim Tszyu was already by the ending. I'm talking about the ending of the first round. Tim Tszyu was starting to find Sebastian Fundora's timing. He was popping his head back, closing out into the second round. Just before that headbutt happened, before 2 seconds, 3 seconds, and leading after this, Tim Tszyu was popping his head back and was hurting Fundora and broke his nose. Remember when he got up, that blood was coming out purple? Okay? The cut that he sustained, Tim Tszyu, it didn't come from a punch. It didn't come from a clash of heads. That was truly a freak accident. And it kind of evened the playing field for Sebastian. That was Tim Tszyu's punches and damage was earned rather than Sebastian Fedora's damage was an accident. The damage that Sebastian Fundora suffered were from legit punches to the face, bro. And that was an accident, and he had to come and come back from that. You see? So that's why I'm saying, you know, is he ready for a fighter like Terence Crawford? Listen, I think personally, Terence Crawford would beat the brakes off of Tim Tszyu. Yes, I said it. Yeah, I said it. And I'll stand on my square. If they were ever to fight, Terence Crawford would beat the brakes off Tim Tszyu. It won't look like that regular Tim Tszyu, like when he fought Tony Harris. Nah, it's not gonna look like that. It ain't gonna look like that. It ain't gonna look like any fighter Tim Tszyu has ever fought. Trust me when I tell you. The one thing is that if Sebastian Fundora was just a little bit shorter, Tim Tszyu also would have rocked him. Tim Tszyu can fight guys more or less his height, but that puzzle in 12 days' notice, how many sparring partners did he get that were 6'6" in 12 days that can emulate Sebastian Fundora? He was learning on the job. Sebastian, he was just fighting the same shit he was fighting every day. He's always the tall guy. So he was comfortable. Tim Tszyu had a fucking puzzle to figure out. And he might have needed some time. And that cut, bro, it was just, I wasn't afraid of the height. I just knew that Tim Tszyu would figure it out. And he was. He was. But that cut caused him to fight a different fight. He had to take a little bit more chances. He was afraid of the fight being called, stopped. There were a lot of things that were entering his mind that should have not been plaguing his mind in those moments had he not suffered that cut. He was up on the scorecards in the second round. He just broke his nose. It was just a matter of time from there. He was chopping him down. But that shit changed. Yeah, man. He sure ain't ready for no Crawford, Carlos. I'm gonna tell you that right now. Yeah, yeah, he has to play it smart. Listen, let me tell you something right now. All right, Carlos. Do you want to be world? You want to stay world champion, or do you want to your next fight take the biggest risk in your entire career? In your very next fight, like s- I, I think you're gonna grow accustomed of walking down the street and they saying, "Hey, champ, your business is called whatever champ. Your sponsors are with you because you're the champ." And you want to go out on your very next fight. And not only are you fighting a dangerous fighter, you're fighting the number one best pound for pound fighter in the world. That's what you want to do? You want to become champion and just throw it all away in the next fight. Nah, give me a year. Let me get a couple tune-up fights. Can I get some fucking tomato cans? Can I go out there and look good for my country and knock a couple people? Why do I gotta fight the fucking number one fucking powerful power? Bro, I just won these belts, bro. And you guys want to throw me in the lion's den. Fuck that, bro. I like being called champion. Hey, champ, how you do? What's up, buddy? When you walk in the room, they don't say, hey, there's the former world champion. They don't say, there's the guy that tried to win and lost. No, they're saying right now, there's the champion. Do you want to taste the taste of the glory? Huh? Huh? Or you want to give all that up? Nah, let me fight Terence Crawford. He go, you know what I mean? I can beat him. Yeah, right. You know it and I know it. Bro, these guys are not. Are you serious right now? I just won these belts and you want me to fight who? What name you say? Bro, can I get a fucking tomato can? Yo, Canelo Alvarez gets to dunk everybody on planet Earth, and you gonna make him my mandatory, you dirty motherfucker. Yo, do I think Crawford's running from Boots? Hell the fuck no. Never on God's green earth. I would ever believe anything like that. You, the way I view it is Boots in a different position in his career. Terence Crawford is in a different trajectory. Just because the new shiny thing is moving up, here's a little breakdown. Jerron Boots Ennis has never fought on pay-per-view. Jerron Boots Ennis just became champion by what? Email. Jerron Boots Ennis has not even defended his world title or made the ceremony complete as being a champion. Jerron Boots Ennis has never made over $2 million in none of his fights, not even close to that. Okay? Jerron Boots Ennis is good. He's the future in that weight division. Oh, remarkable talent. But Terence Crawford did all that Jerron Boots Ennis did. He did. He was there. He was where Jerron Boots Ennis is. Jerron Boots Ennis needs to make his way up just like Terence Crawford did. It took Terence Crawford 6 years to get his crack at his first world title from turning pro because he was avoided. No one wanted to fight that man. He was rocking them all. Jerron Boots Ennis wants a free ride to the top. If he's so good, then go fight all the top guys like Terence Crawford did. He's just in a different trajectory. And Jerron Boots Ennis is not in the club or the ballpark with a fighter such as Terence Crawford. Now, skill-wise, fight-wise, oh, he'd give Terence Crawford probably the best fight out of any of these guys. Hands fucking down, baby. If we was to ever get that fight, that would be a 50-50 fight for me. I think Jerron Boots Ennis makes up in his speed and twitch muscle for what he lacks in Terence Crawford's experience, and he'll make up for it. I'm not saying he isn't a worthy opponent because just maybe Jerron Boots Ennis could hand him his loss. Yes, he has the skills to do it, but business wise, baby, is he ducking him? Hell the fuck no. Terence Crawford would fight him. Hell yeah, he'd fight him. He might just wipe him down. I don't know, right? They're just not in the same trajectory. Jerron Boots Ennis hasn't put in that work. He doesn't deserve to fight with a Terence Crawford. That's the truth. And he's good. He's great. You know, he's opening his mouth to try to get his shot, but he's just tugging on Superman's cape. That's it. Terence Crawford is headed to the Saul Canelo Alvarez sweepstakes. That's kind of trajectory he's in. You know, turning around to give the next young, shiny prospect fighter, that doesn't mean he's ducking him. Nah, Jerron Boots Ennis can say that all he wants. Terence Crawford's ducking me, man. I got his belt. Bro, you shouldn't have that belt in the first place, homeboy. So shut up, right? And Terence Crawford put in that work to become a two-division, all-four belt holder, and the first man in boxing history to do that. I believe he put in enough work to call his shots and not be criticized by some guy that's just coming up. Terence Crawford was that guy once. He was coming up, asking all the champ, hey, let me fight you, blah, blah, blah. Where everybody gets there. You're just going to have to wait. You know who Jerron Boots Ennis is? David the Monster Benavidez. They in the same boat, right? We believe David the Monster Benavidez has all the skill and ability to beat Canelo, bro. We believe it, man. We believe it. But they were just in two different trajectories. You know, a little bit that's a little bullshit because at least David Benavidez had the WBC title. So he had a legitimate claim to that belt. You can't say that about Jerome Ennis. They're a little different, but they're being weighed and overlooked, both of those guys, and they're both amazing. And Jerron Boots Ennis is going to be the next great champion. Keep your eye on that kid. He's had a little bit of legal trouble right now. He's out of that. He broke out of it. And now we're about to see Jerron Boots Ennis, I hope, kick ass and show the world the fighter he truly is. And maybe he can put himself in the position to fight Terence Crawford. But he hasn't had those kind of fights, and he hasn't been fighting on pay-per-view that he can actually wave his hand and they would take him seriously. He's never fought for that kind of money. You see, so money wise, business wise, he's not in the room. Skill wise, he deserves the fight. Yes, with Terence. Skill, oh, yeah. Oh, no, no, no. I'm saying skill wise, Duran Boots Ennis is ready for Terence Crawford right now. Right now. Oh, skill wise, I'm not saying skill wise. I'm saying dollars and cents. They're not in the same room. What you got to say there, Carlos? That's his best move. That's his best move for David Benavidez, the monster, and he noticed he's going on Tank Davis's undercard in June 15th. So he's going to make his first appearance at 175, while Demetrius Bivol and Arthur Benavidez square up for those four belts if everything goes on schedule. Because as you can see, this year there's been a lot of fucking around fuckery going on in boxing that we're not getting Tyson Fury against Usyk. And now Joshua's stepping in. You see? So if the winner out of those fight, that's gonna be a big fight. Now look, look. What what made Usyk good in the heavyweight division and what made fighters like Evander Holyfield good is that when they were at 205, they fought much faster guys. When they packed on the weight, even though the heavyweight guys were bigger, they blocked and took away their power, took them out to deeper water. They were a lot faster. They see fighting faster. That was Usyk's greatest weapon against Anthony Joshua, that he was beating him to the punch just that much faster. He was outboxing him. You see? Okay. So when you get guys that are coming up that are really skilled, that you see, David Benavidez can go to 175 because he has good height. His frame can hold that weight, I think, comfortably. He's not like a shorter guy, and he got good reach and good power. Okay, now Arthur, for me, he's a good fighter. He's he's got good knockout power. Um, you know, I think that David the Monster, for punch output, is gonna have a little bit more punch output. And I think he's gonna be a little fast for Arthur. He's gonna surprise Arthur how fast he is. I think that speed moving up and the fact that he's tall and he's able to remember, his body remembers to be fast. I think he's gonna surprise Benavidez. You know, I think he really is. And I think that this was a good move because technically David the Monster Benavidez already completed what he needed to complete at 168. And that was become a real world champion. And he did that. If he moves up to 175, that will be another weight division. Because You don't have to unify all four belts. All you need to be considered that champion is get one real belt. And he did that. This way, he can go up to 175. And guess what? On his very second fight, there, he can win all four belts in one night by fighting Arthur. You see, and that's the negative of having all four belts. The risk of being that kind of champion. Although you might have all four belts, every time you were to fight, you're giving another man an opportunity of winning all four belts. What it took you, probably like Naoya Inoue, the way he got it, which is the most prestigious way you could do it, one at a time. He didn't fight one guy that had three belts. He didn't fight another guy that had two belts. No. When he did it the first time at 118, he got every belt individually. You see? And when you're going out there and you're giving a guy a chance to beat you for all four belts, bro, once you do that and he beats you, he's going down in the Hall of Fame for all four belts while fighting one fight. You made it. You lined him right up. You lined his Hall of Fame career right up. You don't always want to do that. That's why a lot of champions that get all four belts, they vacate them. Or they go into fight other people in their weight divisions so their belts are not on the line. So just in case they lose Canelo Alvarez at 175 to Mitri Bivol, he didn't lose any belts that night. He just simply went back down to his weight division where all his belts were waiting for him. He can do that. When you're the highest paid boxer in the fucking world, you can do some shit like that. And you want to know something? For as much as I'm hard on him or criticize him, I cannot say if I was in his position that I wouldn't flaunt my power sometimes. But I got to admit, I don't ever see inside of my warrior soul ducking a man for over 5 years. That would have never happened with me. And that's just me. I'm not saying I'm tougher than Osaul. I'm not saying I could ever beat him, or that doesn't make me a better. I just, I would have only heard that noise for so long before I turned around and been like, man, fuck that, man. Let's go. That shit would have, nah, he dealt with it for almost 6 years until right now. There was no way I could have put up with that. Yo, my man, what? My man, thank you for donating to the channel. Round One Sports Talk, baby. Thank you. You got your Pablo right there. My man, gentle puppy. Just checking in. It's been a while. Thank you, baby, for checking in the show. Always appreciate for you guys showing your love. This is all the donations always go to stuff on the channel or for me to get out to some of these fights and bring you guys these live interviews. You know I'm gonna do it. You know I'm gonna do it, right? And I'm always gonna remember you guys that donate. When I get some special things, don't worry about it. I got you. Listen. So I think, yeah, I would have not have ducked. That's just me though. But Saul Canelo Alvarez, David the Monster Benavidez needs to move on. I think that this is a good move. I think he needs just to forget about Saul. Forget about him. The disrespect is real. He's fighting Jaime Munguia, bro. Where the fuck does on God's green earth in a good world does Jaime Munguia deserve this fight? How? He has one fight at that weight division. He just moved up. David the Monster Benavidez is legitimately 168 pounder and has been there, and he was the owner of the WBC title. How the fuck did this kid move up to the division, has one fight, and he gets the opportunity? Oh, and by the way, Saul Canelo Alvarez said he doesn't fight Mexican fighters. Who's his next fight against? Jaime Munguia. What nationality is he? Help me out with this. Oh, he's Mexican? The fuck are you doing? And it's, man, look, you can't make some of this shit up, bro. Like with Virgil Hill. Like, look, I don't even want to open up that can of words neither. He was offered to fight Terence Crawford not once but twice. He denied it. A lot of these guys say what they're going to say when the microphone is in their face. I get it. You're a boxer. You're never supposed to say, yeah, I want to duck this guy publicly. But behind the scenes, they're not signing these contracts. Yo, Shakur Stevenson, ah, it's just, he is one of my favorite fighters. And I guess when time gets tough for your fighter, and, if you're a real if you're a real supporter of that fighter when shit's getting tough, man, then you gotta rock with it. It is what it is with Shakur Stevenson right now. Um, he's saying a lot of things and he's doing a lot of wrong things. I'm not gonna point him out. I'm just not gonna get on him. I know there's been enough people doing that. I'm pretty sure a lot of you's heard the stories and all the wrong moves he's making. Talk about he's the best, but denying fights after denying fights. Then he has a fight right now lined up. He just announced the next fight in Newark. Um, and I'm just like, all right, Artem. He's gonna fight against Artem in Newark, New Jersey. I can't say this guy's last name, bro. That shit's gonna kill me. Listen, if you guys can figure out that last name right there, you see it? That's his next fight. Uh, You see that freaking last name, bro? I can't say it, but that's it. That's him. And I don't know Shakur, bro. Yo, do you, baby? It is what it is. So Bria Matias' birthday was yesterday, and my man sent me. I think this was so not this birthday right here, but his last birthday. This was this was them, and that in the picture right there, as you can see right there. Wait. Let me see if I can point right. Okay, that's Felix Trinidad. Sabria Matias is right here. That's his boxing promoter. And that was another fighter that I think his birthday too. And then that's them right there. Hold up. Hold up. And then, oh yeah, my man sent me this. But we already know about this and we was talking about. He just sent me that. So I think this is the one with the rapper from Puerto Rico sent Subria. Oh, this is what he sent me. I didn't open it. He sent them one yesterday. These are all the people that said happy birthday to Subria Matias right here. Wait. Oh, they got the rapper to sing him happy birthday on the line. Yeah. And these are everybody. Yo, that was cool as shit. You can't hear it? Could you guys hear that? Nah, no, can't hear it. Come on, are you real? Hold up. Hold on, let me play it again. Tell me you guys heard that. Y'all can't hear that? Oh, I can't believe y'all can't hear that. That shit is blasting over here. Like I don't even know what to do anymore. Y'all can't hear that? That's got to be that noise cancellation shit. Nice. Let's see. I can't believe it. Yo, last time I put that shit like that, you could hear it. All right. All right, I'm gonna try to upload it then. I'm gonna try to upload it and I'm gonna put up the video because I got it right there. But they saying I'm happy birthday and they got the rapper to sing I'm happy birthday and shit. And that was yesterday, so that was good, you know. But Subriel Matias, you know, he's not gonna get on social media, you know. So somebody will get that to him, probably his chief second or whatever, because it was his birthday. But he's in training camp and he's in there preparing hard for Liam Paro. And now Liam Paro is an undefeated fighter. I looked him up. He looks fundamentally sound as a boxer. He has good movement. Unfortunately for me, anyway, by taking a look at him, that is something that Subriel Matias has already been in the ring with. In fact, his last five opponents look just like that or just stronger. Now, the last man that Subriel Matias fought just recently fought and won, and he wants a rematch with Subriel Matias. In fact, I believe that Subriel Matias right now after this Liam Paro fight, being the fact that newly acquired Isa Pitbull Cruz is now the 140-pound champion of the world. Everybody in the who's champion in the weight division and everybody at the bottom all turned around and looked at Isa Pitbull Cruz. Everybody is begging for that fight. Tio wants that fight. Devin wants that fight. Subriel will love that fight. But who is Isa Pitbull Cruz going to really fight? I mean, when the microphone's in his face, as you can see, I want Gervonta Davis. I want Theo, Devin Haney, and Matias. Yo, listen, they had to slap him in the back to get the names out. Say it with your chest. You know what I mean? Like really, um, I don't know who he's gonna fight, but I believe that Subriel Matias right now needs to fight the other champions. I would personally welcome a fight against Teofimo Lopez, and then go after Devin Haney. You know, I would leave Devin Haney for the last because that would be the best fight in the division. That would be the fight of one of the fighters of the year, if not the fight of the year. It has potential of turning into a fight of the year between those two guys, but it also has the potential of making the most money. You're not gonna make that kind of money with Teofimo Lopez, but you can go get his belt. But anyway, look, okay, it says now his connection is successful. Okay, good. All right, and now you're Barboza. Barboza is worthy. Barboza should have had this fight, if you ask me. Okay. Uh Barboza is the stand-in right now to the Ryan Garcia and Devin Haney fight right now. Okay, I believe that Ryan Garcia is going to make that fight. Here we are. We're in April. We're legitimately 19 days away from the fight. You know, maybe that calf injury from Tyson Fury, or hopefully, is an April Fool's joke. I just thought of that. Nah, you don't play with some shit like that, right? I just thought of that shit because that was a strange injury. A calf you pull out of it. That's crazy, bro. Be safe, baby. Yeah. So listen, guys. Um, I'm also gonna wrap this up right here. I think that Isa Pitbull Cruz has a lot of options. I believe that Subriel Matia right now really needs to focus on fighting the other champions. I think once Devin Haney gets out of this fight with Ryan, I think his next opponent just might be Tio and help Tio out with a little bit of cash too if he's going to take an ass whooping. You know, Tio and Devin Haney's had a lot of they got a lot of backstory and future. So maybe they can meet up, and maybe who knows, Subriel and Isa Pitbull Cruz. You know, if you want to think about a fighter that you would give him, he's a dangerous fight, Subriel Matia, but he kind of caters to um, Isa Pitbull Cruz's fighting style. They're both going to want to clash and go in the inside and mix it up. It would stand to be an exciting fight for however long the fight lasts. So yeah, gentlemen, look, we have some good fights with the next one on the table. It's gonna be Ryan and Devin, you know, and then we'll get Naoya Inoue. Unfortunately, I guess it might be true. We're gonna get it Alexander Usyk against Joshua out there in Saudi in the desert. So listen, fight fan, we chopped it up. Let me answer some of your questions before I go. Ain't Barboza the number one rank for the WBO? Hmm. Oh, what's up, Felix Perez? How you doing in the building? Look, these sanctioning bodies sometimes at times show that they just do sometimes whatever they want. Um, look, Barboza, I believe, is also ranked high in the other the other sanctioning bodies as well. Okay, I believe in the WBC is also ranked pretty high. But it's up to Barboza and Barboza's team to put in the paperwork to issue the mandatory. The sanctioning bodies don't put in the paperwork for you. And that's kind of how you see behind the scene when a person doesn't really want the smoke. You see what I'm saying? You know, Ortiz was saying that he wanted to fight Terence Crawford for years. And he was Terence Crawford's mandatory. He never activated it. Never. For almost 3 years, he didn't activate it, bro. It's up to them to activate it. He was his number one in the WBC as well. He never put in the paperwork. They're not gonna do it for you. See what I'm saying? Anyway, love you guys, fight fans. Take care. You know what I mean? On to the next one. Until next time, peace.